In 2014, in a quiet industrial town in Ohio, there lived a man named Ethan Miller. If you passed him on the street, you wouldn't remember his face, not because there was anything wrong with him, but because he blended into the background of life the way some people do, like furniture in a room you've been sitting in for years. Always there, never noticed. Ethan was 27 years old and already exhausted by life. Every morning at 5:30 a.m., before the sun came up, he sat in his car outside a gray warehouse with peeling paint and flickering lights. He didn't scroll his phone. He didn't listen to music. He just sat there, hands on the steering wheel, staring at the building like it was a sentence he had to serve. Inside, the air smelled like dust and cardboard. The work was simple but punishing: lifting, stacking, moving things that were never his for people who didn't know his name. To his supervisors, Ethan was reliable. To his co-workers, he was quiet. To the system, he was replaceable. During meetings, his managers spoke about growth and opportunity, while their eyes moved around the room, skipping right over him. When Ethan did speak rarely, it felt like talking into a vacuum. No reaction, no response, just the sound of the meeting moving on without him. Once he suggested a change that could speed up shipments. He'd thought about it for weeks, practiced the words in his head. When he finally said it, the room went silent for a second. Then someone coughed, another person checked their phone. The supervisor said, "All right, let's continue," and erased the board. That was it, no argument, no rejection, just erasure. That silence followed him home. Ethan lived alone in a small apartment with thin walls and buzzing lights. At night, he could hear his neighbors laughing, arguing, living. He ate cheap food straight from containers and watched the ceiling fan spin, wondering how life had quietly passed him by. He wasn't lazy, he wasn't reckless. He hadn't made big mistakes, and yet nothing was happening. Friends from high school were gone, married, promoted, moved on. When he saw them online, their lives looked louder, brighter, fuller. When they asked how he was doing, he gave the same answer every time. Same old. Eventually, they stopped asking. One winter night, after a brutal holiday shift that stretched past 14 hours, Ethan sat on the edge of his bed, boots still on, back hunched, hands shaking from exhaustion. His phone buzzed, not a message, a notification. Someone he barely remembered had just been promoted. Another had bought a house. Ethan turned the phone face down. Something heavy settled in his chest. Not anger, not jealousy. Fear. The fear that this was it. That this quiet, ignored life was all there was. That one day he would wake up at 40, then 50, still invisible. That night, at nearly midnight, he opened his old laptop. The fan screamed like it was in pain. The screen flickered. He didn't have a plan. He didn't have confidence. He typed one sentence into the search bar: "How to escape warehouse work." That search didn't change his life, but it cracked something open. He started reading, watching videos, learning words he didn't fully understand: logistics, data flow, inventory systems. He felt stupid most of the time, slow behind. After 10-hour shifts, his body begged for rest. His mind told him it was pointless. No one knew what he was doing. No one encouraged him. No one would have cared if he quit. And many nights, he almost did. There were moments when he stared at the screen, eyes burning, thinking, "Who do you think you are? People like you don't get out. This is for smarter people, better people," but he kept going. Not because he believed he'd win, but because stopping felt worse. Months passed. Nothing changed on the outside. At work, he was still ignored, still overlooked, still invisible. That's the part people never talk about. The long stretch where effort gives you nothing back. No reward, no sign, no reassurance, just repetition and doubt. One night, after nearly a year of this routine, a shipment error triggered chaos on the warehouse floor. Orders were about to be sent to the wrong states. Managers argued, phones rang. Everyone panicked. Ethan saw the mistake immediately. He hesitated. This was the moment where ignored people usually stay silent, where they let the system fail because no one listens anyway. But something in him snapped, not violently, but quietly. He spoke up. "This shipment code is wrong," he said. "If it goes out, it'll cost us days." A supervisor looked at him, annoyed, then confused, then serious. They checked. Ethan was right. The room changed, not with applause, not with praise, but with attention. For the first time, people looked at him like he existed. After that day, nothing magically improved. There were no instant promotions, no speeches about potential. But questions started coming his way. "How did you know? Can you check this? What do you think?" Ethan answered calmly. Simply, I studied. Years passed. Slowly, painfully, his life shifted. He moved off the floor, then into planning, then into management. People who once walked past him now waited for his decisions, not because he demanded respect, but because the system trusted him. One evening, years later, Ethan locked the door to his small office. The warehouse was quiet now, clean, controlled. He stood there for a moment, listening to the hum of the building. He remembered the nights he felt invisible, the meals eaten alone, the silence after speaking, and he realized something important. Winning alone changes you. It doesn't make you loud. It doesn't make you bitter. It makes you unshakable. When people later called him lucky or said he came out of nowhere, Ethan never corrected them, because the truth was darker and more powerful. He didn't come out of nowhere. He came out of years where nobody cared if he disappeared. And he survived anyway. Some people aren't ignored because they're weak. They're ignored because their growth happens in silence. And when they finally rise, they don't need permission. They don't need applause. They already paid the price.